Alright guys, so this is my newly acquired pistol that I got in trade. This is the Arex Rex Zero1 S, and this is just how it comes. It's a pretty good box. It's decently thick. I don't know if it's going to pass the airline standards or not, but it does have 2 locks on it, so it could. They're not the biggest, so it'd probably be a smaller lock you put on it, which, I don't know, it would work, I'm sure. But what you get in, it does come with 2 magazines. I got the other magazine in my kit right now, but it's usually how it comes. And you have directions and the manual. I didn't get a lock with it. I don't know. We'll see if Josh comments on it, see if it came with a lock or not. But yep, decent foam. You know, it's a little soft, but you know, it works. But here it is. The S is for standard. They do have a tactical one now and a compact, but this is the original one. But this is the pistol that Tim from Military Arms Channel beat the crap out of in his gauntlet test, and it was the first and only one to actually pass it. I think he put it up against the 226 Legion, which this one actually does take quite a bit of, you know, if you look at it quick, you might think it's a 226, but it is, it is not. It is imported from the Fime Group. You can find most of the stuff on Kvar. They do make extra grips for it now, but it is made in Slovenia. And so far, I've only put a couple hundred rounds through it, but it's nice and accurate. I'm hitting out to 50 yards with it with not really any problems. I've had no hiccups, and I don't expect to have any. But the only thing that bugs me really is the grips. The grips kind of suck. And Hogue is making G10 grips for it now, so I'll have to pick up some of those once they get back in stock. And I know Arex is also Kvar is starting to get in night sights for the thing, and I haven't researched too much on new sights or anything, because I don't know if I'm just gonna put a light and laser on it or not. But I do want night sights eventually for it. Just gotta put it through its paces first. Guess the differences between this and the 226. I mean, the 226 doesn't have a full-length rail on it, and this does, which is nice. Yeah, it's an aluminum alloy frame. It's actually really light. Surprised how light it is. It does feel lighter than the SIGs. It's 28 ounces unloaded, so it's not bad, especially for a full-size, you know, non-polymer gun. It works. Most of them are 30 plus. I mean, shit, the SIG P320 compact is 27 point something ounces. So this is right around there. And it is double single action, and it does come with a decocker. And actually the decocker is also slide release, but you have to, you can't, it's not going to drop the hammer down. Also, like when you're trying to drop the slide, it'll actually have to reset itself. So drop the slide, and then it'll click once you let go of it, and then you can drop the hammer, which is actually pretty cool, and a nice safety feature too. It does come with a safety also if you want to roll it cocked and locked, but I don't know. I'm not really a big fan of thumb safeties, but it's not bad. You know, it's positive. You're not gonna. I don't think you're gonna, you know, knock it into safe. And taking it off's pretty easy. And also when you're firing it, I mean, at least when I am, my hand's riding, or my thumb's riding just over the safety, so I'm not gonna engage the thing. And for you know, I don't have the biggest hands in the world, but this actually fits almost perfect. I wish my fingers would wrap around just a little bit more, but you know, I can dig in, and get a good grip on it. Here's a sight picture for you. Just standard 3-dot. It's got a fatter front blade. I mean, it takes up most of the rear sight when you're looking at it, but it's not bad. But here's the double action trigger. It's heavy, but it's pretty smooth. Just a little bit gritty, but we'll see what time does to that. Here's a reset. Yeah, it's almost all the way out. And then the single action is pretty nice. Just a little take up, and at the end of the take up, it just gets a little spongy, but it's pretty crisp. It's not a 1911 trigger, but it's nice. So the reset's a lot nicer on double action, and I was firing the thing pretty fast. It does run pretty well. What else we got? Oh yeah, the safety is ambi on this, and as is the magazine release. That's nice, and it doesn't poke out a ton, so if I'm firing, I do have to rotate my hand a little bit to get on it. But you can also just index finger it, if you really want to. But they pop out nice and easy. The magazines are really well made. It is 17+1, and they look like Mechar mags. They could be. I mean, they look a lot like my my CZ magazines that I have, and it is full metal. It does have a polymer follower, but good mags. Yeah, the grips on the frame, they're okay. Nothing special. They grip. I wish I had a little more. I mean, up here though, on the beaver tail, it gets a little slippery. Hopefully those new G10 grips, when I get them, it'll help. And I don't know. I've been wanting one of these for quite a while just to try out and to beat the crap out of. And I wanted another full metal pistol, something full size. I got my CZ upstairs, and that just hides away in the by the bed, and I needed something else downstairs I can throw in my kit, and that would fit, because my CZ with the what is it, the TLR4 on it, it doesn't fit in my holster on my vest. So this one, if I don't put a light on it, it's perfect. And I got 3 extra mags for it, so those are in the kit as well. And yeah, just got to do a little bit of work to it, just with the grips and maybe some sights. It'll be good to go. But here's some close-ups. Yeah, just wish the grips were better, because these are just slick up here. This isn't bad. It kind of feels like a Gen 4 Glock grip, but yeah, not a huge fan. And I really don't like the block or the cutouts, but I don't know. I guess they're there for your index finger, but I just don't like them. I think the G10s will be a lot better. But breaking it down, not too bad. Oh, yeah, that's one thing I noticed. This thing pops back on me sometimes. So, man. Did it again. There we go. I don't know why that does that, but it's weird. So, it is it's got full slides, which is a big selling point for me too, because I haven't had a full slide pistol in quite a while. And it's just nice to have a metal gun again, just in the the wave of all this polymer crap, which I do love, but for carry, and but this thing's cool. It's nice. Everything, all the milling's really well done. The finish on it's looking pretty good. Not really having any wear, just tiny bit under the slide rails. I got nothing over here, just that tiny bit in the back. So I guess it's putting pressure on the left side and on the slide, but there are a couple of safeties. The guide rod is metal, but it is hollow. They do make a stainless steel guide rod for it. I don't know if I'll get it or not, but we'll see how the gun does. Through I'll probably bring it to Montana and Wyoming when I go. Just really get on it and throw it in rivers and mud and sand and see if I can make it hiccup. We'll have some good video of that trip. It's gonna be a long trip, but there'll be a lot of shooting. Barrel's well made. It did come polished. It's got a nice polish on it, and the milling on it's really well done. Not getting too much wear either. Just a tiny ring here, and then a lock on the block. It's just a little bit. Not really even getting barely. Just a little Glock smile. But it's not a Glock, so we'll see how much that wears. And let's see on the top. Yeah, I get a little wear here. And that's basically the lubing points also in the manual, because I just lube this thing like everything else. But basically tells you to lube the top here, leave the barrel basically alone, and just lube here, and then the slide rails, and a thin coat here. But it's writing on all the shells, and get a little bit of case, a little bit of brass from the cases on it. But overall, it's well done. Yeah, it does have a loaded chamber indicator, and it doesn't stick up far. I usually hate these things, but it barely comes up. It's literally like that when you got a shell in or a case in. So I'm not worried about it snagging or anything. But yeah, milling on it's really well done. And I'm just surprised how light the gun is. I thought I was gonna be a pretty heavy pistol, but it turns out it's not bad. And I've worn it a few times, and it really rides well. I'm surprised it hasn't. I thought it was gonna be weighing me down like crazy, but it's not bad. And here's how the magazine release works. It's that tab, which is nice. It doesn't have you don't have to reverse the magazine release at all. So it works both sides. It's a cool little way they did that. I haven't seen that really before. Just hangs on the front. But yep, just a cool gun. That's all, guys. If you got any questions, I'll make a shooting video of it, and we'll try to do some torture testing soon. We're leaving for Wyoming in October. I think the first week in October. We'll be there for a couple weeks, so we'll get some good video and some updates. Thanks.